Apple's expected to introduce a new generation of iPhones this fall, and there have been several feature leaks from reputable sources that we'll cover right now. Similar to last year, the standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus models aren't expected to feature any major design changes. Instead, Apple's likely to make several incremental improvements. Based on leaked dimensions, the 15 and 15 Plus will have the same designs as the 14 and 14 Plus, an aluminum frame with flat edges and a glass front and back. This means iPhone 14 cases should fit the new 15 models. But one big difference will be the transition away from Lightning to USB-C, marking the first time Apple's changed the iPhone's port in 11 years. Although the change wasn't exactly voluntary. Instead, regulatory requirements by the EU pushed Apple to make the change. The benefit for users is that we'll be able to use the same charger to power our MacBooks, iPads, iPhones, and other electronics like the Switch or a Kindle. And thanks to Apple lowering the cost of the dynamic island component, it'll now be included in the entry-level 15 and 15 Plus models instead of being exclusive to the Pro and Pro Max. And just like 14 Pro, the 15 will feature an A16 chip, putting its performance on par with last year's iPhone Pro models. And thanks to a more power-efficient OLED display driver chip built on a 28nm process, all the new 15 models are expected to have even better battery life than last year. And just like every other generation, there'll be new color options for the 15 and 15 Plus, likely dark pink and light blue, along with the standard white, black, and product red. US prices for these models are expected to be the same at $799 for the 15 and $899 for the 15 Plus. Now take a look at the 15 Pro and Pro Max. They'll likely receive the biggest change of all models, a new design. The device's overall size will be 0.4mm thicker than the 14 Pro, with small reductions in height and width, which could make the device feel a little more comfortable in the hand, especially considering the new shape of its frame, which will feature soft, rounded edges instead of the sharp edges we've seen in previous generations. The curve won't be as aggressive as the iPhone 10 or 11, but its addition will prevent palm discomfort while retaining flat sides to provide grip. And instead of stainless steel, Apple's opting for titanium on the 15 Pro models, similar to what we saw on the Apple Watch Ultra. Titanium is lighter and stronger than stainless steel, but more expensive due to being more difficult to manufacture. We know the material will likely be used in the 15 Pro's frame, but we don't know if it'll extend to the back. Many suggest it isn't likely since a full metal chassis could make it difficult for antenna and radio signals to pass through, so the 15 Pros could still have a glass back like the standard models. But even so, the use of titanium should reduce the device's overall weight by 8 to 12%, which would be especially helpful for the larger Pro Max model. And while the dynamic island and display will remain unchanged, its bezel will become even thinner. Currently, the 14 Pro models have bezels that measure 2.17mm, but the 15 Pros will reduce this by 28%, measuring just 1.55mm thick. That would set a new record for smartphone bezel thinness. On the sides, you'll find completely new solid-state volume, power, and action buttons, which will use taptic engines to simulate clicks without the buttons actually moving, similar to the effect Apple uses on their MacBook solid-state trackpads. What used to be separate volume buttons will likely be combined into one longer button, with the volume changing direction depending on where you press. But the big change comes to the mute switch, which will be replaced by an action button, something we've already seen on the Apple Watch Ultra. The button will be customizable with a variety of actions like mute and unmute, opening the camera, turning on the flashlight, activating Do Not Disturb, locking screen orientation, and more. This new solid-state button layout will likely increase water and dust resistance and improve long-term durability. And for the first time in several generations, Apple will add a feature exclusive to the most expensive Pro Max model. It'll be a periscope lens system that'll deliver 6 times optical zoom compared to the 15 Pro's 3 times zoom. The reason it'll only be on the larger Pro Max is because of the extra space a periscope lens system requires inside the device. The Pro models are expected to also feature a new A17 chip, which will be Apple's first built on a 3nm process, improving processing performance by 10 to 15% while reducing power consumption by up to 30%. Also, this SIM tray, which was removed in the US last year, could be removed in additional countries like France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and the UK. The exclusive new color for 15 Pro models is rumored to be dark red, something we've never seen on iPhone before, while prices in the US will likely increase due to the titanium frame, solid-state buttons, and A17 chip, but no specific price point has been revealed. So those are the rumored changes coming to the next generation of iPhones this fall. This is Greg with Apple Explained. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video.